Hello there. I can't hear you though. I think you're muted. Yes, you are muted.
Hi, how are you?
Hi. Good. So I'm just trying to see if our
You're going to let people in, right?
not yet. Should we start admitting them or no?
Why not? Let them start. Let them come in. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm also launching the poll, the attendance poll.
Okay. So no, we don't want the poll yet, do we? Did you launch the poll?
I did.
I didn't. Okay. We probably should launch it after.
That's in progress. It does say that.
Okay. All right.
Neither you or me can vote. Because we're called.
I could.
You let other people in. There are people in the waiting room.
Okay. Just to let you know, we are live on YouTube.
See that?
So no, I cannot vote for some reason.
Can't, because you're a co-host.
Right.
Host and co-host.
Right. Okay.
Let other people in and let them.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna start admitting as they come in then.
There you go.
And we will start the recording when you're about to start the meeting, right?
Sure.
We're not recording yet, but we are live on YouTube.
Okay. Okay, one person voted already.
Okay.
There we go. People are now going to start coming in. Great. Andre, you need a green screen behind you. or better lighting on your face. There you go.
A little better. Okay.
Professor Langsam,
How are you?
I'm here in case you had any question.
I'm glad. I see. Please take attendance, folks. Sign in. You should see the poll.
Do I have a few minutes before we actually start business?
Yeah, we're probably not going to start before like we normally start at about 3:30.
Okay, so I'm going to wander off and I'll be back. I'll be in and out, but I'll be here by 3:30.
No problem. People are still teaching and things, so we normally start at 3:30 sharp. Martha, are you around somewhere?
Yep, I'm here.
Okay.
Don't see any poll.
You can turn your camera on, Martha. Don't be shy.
There you go. But my internet is unstable and I can't always hear.
Oh,
So I have to keep it off.
President Anderson, how are you?
Doing well. Glad to be here. Thanks you. Did. Hi, everyone.
Hi, everyone.
Hi, all.
You said there was something we had to sign in, did you?
There should be a poll on your screen.
There isn't. That's why I meant.
Oh,
It should say attendance in progress, and it should be people.
Doesn't say that. That's why I was asking.
Big. Numbers are going up. 37, 43 people, 38.
is it?
Okay, there we go.
It takes time for it to appear when you first get on. 90% of the people have signed in so far. I've just muted everybody who hasn't muted themselves because there's a lot of back noise. You'll be able to unmute yourself, or we'll unmute you as necessary.
Oh, there you go.
We'll start in about less than 10 minutes, at 3:30 exactly. Martha, are you ready?
Yeah, all set.
Andre, can you start recording?
So the recording is on and we're live on YouTube.
Thank you. So, good afternoon, everyone. I would have hoped that we would be able to meet in more pleasant circumstances, but it is what it is. So I'm going to call the September 15th, 2020 meeting order of Faculty Council. As was just pointed out, we are operating subject to the governor's executive order allowing remote meetings to take place, overriding the open meeting law, provided they are both recorded and live streamed. So we are on YouTube right now, as well as recording the meeting. There is attendance being taken, as 102 people out of 105 people have already signed in. Please do sign in if you're here. There should be a record of you being here. I have muted everyone to keep down all the background noise. But if you wish to raise your hand, for those who've not used Zoom, okay, if you go to the participant list on the bottom of your screen, you can then have the opportunity on the right side to raise your hand. Excuse me. You can raise your hand and we will unmute you. And if we don't unmute you, you can unmute yourself as necessary, but then please mute yourself again. Okay, so roll call was taken or is being taken as we speak. We do have a quorum, 105 of 106 people voted. It's actually 2 people higher than that because the people who are hosting the meeting can't vote, so I can't mark myself as being attending. And Andre is here to help us, and we very much appreciate him setting up the meeting and helping do all the logistics of getting this meeting so that everyone who's entitled to be here could be here, and so. So, the first item on the agenda is the minute of the May 12th, 2020. Professor Nadeau.
Hi, everyone. You have the minutes in the packet. Are there any changes or corrections?
Hearing none, a motion to accept the minutes is in order. Someone unmute and say so.
So moved.
Is there a second?
I second.
Second.
Thank you. All in favor, say aye.
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 Thank you. Are there any objections? Hearing no objections, are there any abstentions? The minutes are accepted unanimously. Thank you very much. We'll begin with notes from the steering committee. First of all, I noticed that a lot of you are very shy, like students. Okay, at the very least, I encourage you to make yourself present. Turn on your video camera so we know that you're alive, so we can see members of our family here. Okay, we're all family members. So I would encourage you, although unlike my class, I won't force you to turn your video camera on. So this has been a very, very difficult period of time for us, for the college, for the faculty, for the students, staff. We've lost several faculty members. We've lost students. We've lost staff. We've lost family members. I would like to be able to, at some point in the future, recognize a little more formally the terrible loss that the college has suffered. But for now, let's just have a moment of silence to recognize that we're missing so many of our colleagues. Thank you very much. I'd like to begin by welcoming all of you, but in particular, the new members. Okay, there are new chairs, there are new representatives from departments. Thank you for serving. Okay, the Faculty Council is one of the pillars of governance at Brooklyn College. Before I go on, I also want to recognize the new deans who have arrived. I see a few of them on the screen. So thank you for being here. If this would be a normal meeting, I would ask you to stand up or at least be recognized, but we can't do that. So just know that we appreciate your service. Faculty Council has some very, very serious responsibilities. I take this opportunity every year to list them for the record so that we know what we're required to do. And so the administration, who's also listening, knows what they're not required to do or should not be doing. In particular, according to the governance of the college, the faculty are solely responsible for the curriculum. They are solely responsible for the granting of degrees, and they are solely responsible for all other degree requirements. That is your job. Sitting at these meetings or in committees, we make the policy. We also serve an important role in communicating with the administration, in guiding the administration, asking them questions when we need more information. And we don't see this as an adversary relationship. We see this as each of us understanding what our roles are and working together, students and for the college as a whole. As you know, I'm very committed to the college, and looking around, I may be the oldest, longest serving person in this group.
Oh,
I don't know when you came.
older than you.
Okay. You're older than I, yes, older in age, perhaps. I wouldn't say that to you. Okay. But when did you come here to the school? Okay. Anyway. So we have a few announcements to make. Normally, we would make a series of nominations to various groups here from which the president would choose. What I'm going to do is simply make the announcement, and you will be receiving an email from the president's office, just as you do when we elect policy council or UFS representatives, and you will be asked to nominate. And the following nominations have to occur. So first of all, we're going to be making nominations for the Brooklyn College Association Board. We're going to present a slate of up to 8 candidates from which the president will select 2 members and 2 alternates. Their term is from fall 2020 to spring 2023. They do not have to be members of faculty council, so that if you have colleagues who you can encourage them to run. The BCA board, Brooklyn College Association, has the oversight of student activity fee. The committee typically meets once a month, late afternoons, Wednesdays, usually around 5 p.m. And obviously this semester it will be done completely online. So it's an important role, important oversight role, and I encourage you to self-nominate or to nominate colleagues. Now, another important group to which we need to participate is the University Faculty Senate. The UFS is the counterpart of Faculty Council for Cuny as a whole. Back when in March 2nd through 6th, if you can remember that far back, we held online nominations for representatives for the UFS. We were not able to have elections because COVID came upon us and nothing really got done of an organized fashion, and nothing that wasn't essential. So online elections will be held during the week of September 21st through 25th. This is a very important role. It parallels what you're doing here. It's important that our representatives actually show up. Okay, there have been problems in the past that people accept the role of the UFS and then they don't go. That means we lose a vote, we lose a voice, we lose important representation from Cuny. It's important that who you vote for is someone who agrees to go. And you may want to speak to them to make sure that they will show up. Next, we will have nominations for 4 faculty members to serve on the board of directors of the Brooklyn College Auxiliary Enterprises Corporation Committee, BCAEC. The president will select 2 faculty members from the 4 nominated by Faculty Council per the BCAEC bylaws, which is Article 3 and Section 2. Now, what does the BCAEC board do? They are responsible for the oversight and review of food services, campus parking, pouring rights. I don't know what pouring rights are, ATM machines, and external rentals. The committee meets 3 times a year, early fall, midwinter, and late spring. Members whose 2-year term is expiring are Professors Eleanor Miel and Naomi Schiller. Their term starts October 2020. Clearly, there's a lot of money involved here, and your oversight is extremely important. Are there any questions on any of these procedures that we're going to follow? So again, we're not doing it here, which we normally do, just too complicated. You will get an email from the president's office, and please nominate and vote as appropriate. Thank you. We now move to the Committee on Committees. Professor Levy.
Hi, everyone. First, before I present you the slate with a few more people to vote on, I do want to thank the committee, Jillian, Jennifer, Ken, Dove, and Nemelinda, for all their hard work in getting this slate together. As many of you know firsthand, you heard from us, we emailed colleagues, sometimes having to reach out again and again, begging, cajoling, convincing, and calling in personal favors. And we also thank you for your patience with us. And behind the scenes, I have to acknowledge we've had a lot of meetings. As a committee, I'm happy to report that we've started to see some of the fruits of the labor from my predecessors, Tim Shortell and Ken Esty, and all the past committee members, in trying very much to rebalance the makeup of faculty council committees. So if you take a look, you will now see a little less of a gender imbalance, and you will see that there are more senior faculty members serving on committees. But I do remind everyone that we have much more to do to ensure diversity in all possible ways on these committees. And I especially want to thank you, my colleagues here at Faculty Council and elsewhere, for agreeing to serve on these committees and do this really essential work. This truly is our responsibility and passion, supporting the college, our departments and programs, and especially our students. I mean, this is why we do it. So again, we may be reaching out to you again, and I will present, Yadidja, can you put the new slate, the current slate up?
Yes,
You
I can.
received it in your packet. So
Let me share the screen.
We particularly have a need for faculty. We have 3 vacancies on really an important committee, general education. So we will open the floor if you want to self-nominate. If not, afterwards, we will continue to reach out to people to fill what's left. So you see in red and italicized, if you can see red. I know some people have color issues, but it's italicized as well, the new members. So you have new chair. We have a chair of graduate curriculum. We thank Professor Rodman for stepping up. Where are we? So we have 3 vacancies in Gen Ed. Honorary degrees, Derek Adams. We have Hui Chen in computer science, and I think one more below. Oh no, a few. Gunja has stepped up for master planning, Sandra for review of programs, and Peihan for student records, but we still need a chair for student records, that very important committee that helps student graduate, right? This is the committee that ensures or certifies that everything is in order for students to graduate. So we can we open the floor for any nominations for those committees? Or do you want to vote first on the slate?
No, let's open, let's do it in one shot. Let's go through the list. Is there any nominations for the position in review of student records? I think that's the first one, right?
Oh, that's at the bottom. You could go up.
Okay,
Let's stay there.
Hold on,
Let's just stay where we are. That's last page.
Where do you want me to go? Okay, first page. There's nothing on this first page other than nothing. Okay, the College Integrity Committee, we are meeting, we're trying to negotiate with various people to serve on that.
In the chat, there are some nominations in the chat.
Okay, you want to read that? I can't do them everything simultaneously here.
Okay, so Jillian Kavanaugh nominates Stephen Chester of anthropology for general education.
Is he here?
Yes, I'm willing to serve.
Excellent. Are there any other nominations for someone in general education?
Oh,
We have 3 positions there. Come on, someone else. Anybody? Remember, they don't have to be members of council.
Can I add, as a member of the Committee on Committees, that when you look at that committee, there's no one from the business school, the School of Business. And so it'd be really helpful to have someone from the School of Business step forward to be on that committee so that all the schools are represented.
That'd be great. Let me try to find someone for that committee. I don't want to nominate anyone without asking them first.
Excellent. If you can get to us, that would be great. Thank you, James.
Let's move on now.
Okay.
You got one person for general education, possibly a second. Let's move to.
I have a third.
Peter Lipke? Yeah, Peter?
I might have a third, but I have to check.
Okay, so get back to Sharona, and we'll see from there. Okay, where are we going now? We're going to
Chair of Student Records. That's the
very important. Students can't graduate if this committee doesn't do their work.
Maybe you could explain what is involved?
What's involved is actually reviewing the student lists that the registrar provides, and then going through them and making sure that the students have, in fact, met the requirements for graduation. The chair then stands up at faculty council when asked and says that the list is satisfactory, they've gone through it, and then we as a group then issue the recommendation that they be granted their degrees. So it is a lot of work, or it is some work, but it's an extremely important position. Well, we're going to have to continue.
We will continue. I have a quick question. I might as well, perhaps you could speak to it as well, Yadidja. What about the students on these committees?
No, we don't do that.
No, but I mean, Student Affairs gives us the names.
Student Affairs will give you the names. How they get the names, I'd rather not comment on right now. But in any event, they will give us names of students presumably who have agreed to serve. Those students will be referred to the chairs of each of these committees. The chair should invite them and work out a good time for them to meet. They have full voting rights, although they don't count against a quorum. So if they don't show up, you can still do your business. Almost all committees have student members, a few don't, and that's all in the bylaws or in the rules. And anyone who wants to see that, you should send around the charges to the committees to everyone. Maybe we should do that again. We will
do that. If you have not received the name of your students, the chairs of the committee, reach out to Kathy. We'll get you the names for who we have. Thank you all very much.
Okay, so now I'm going to
vote. Right, we have to vote.
So this is a seconded motion from a committee. It does not need to be seconded or brought forth. Are there any other nominations that anyone wants to make to this list? Hearing none. All in favor of the list as it stands now? Please say aye.
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 And I counted every last one of those. Anybody who objects, who opposes this? Hearing none, is there anyone who is abstaining from voting? Hearing none, we will consider this list as currently stated, unanimously approved, and we will bring you the other names for you in the October meeting. Thank you very much, Sharona. Thank you, committee. Extremely well done. We next move to the liaison with the UFS to report to us on what has happened since we've last met in the UFS. Professor Cohen.
Good afternoon, everyone. My report will be largely on the March 31st meeting. I believe that was the first meeting via Zoom, and it went relatively well. I think one thing is that it was much more efficient, although it also seemed to cut down a little bit on the amount of discussion that one would normally have at a UFS meeting. The chair, Martin Burke, reported about the Board of Trustees meeting, which I guess took place by phone. And he said that was a very efficient meeting. They had a very limited agenda. And they were, of course, talking about budget situation and COVID and a lot of uncertainty. That certainly permeated the UFS meeting with concerns about a lack of a clear policy on COVID by Cuny, understanding that summer was going to be all online, but lack of clarity as far as the fall. Of course, now we know what's happened with that. And some concerns about lack of involvement of faculty on a lot of the important changes that had to happen in the spring semester. There were 2 resolutions that were proposed and passed. The first was a resolution on adding political belief and affiliation to CUNY's non-discrimination policy. I'll just go ahead and read that. This did pass. Be it resolved that political belief or affiliation will be added to CUNY's non-discrimination policy as a protected category so that it will state as follows. It is the policy of the university applicable to all colleges and units to recruit, employ, retain, promote, and provide benefits to employees, and to admit and provide services to students without regard to race, color, creed, national origin, ethnicity, ancestry, religion, age, sex, sexual orientation, gender identity, marital status, parental partnership status, disability, genetic information, alien, citizenship, military, veteran status, political beliefs or affiliation status as a victim of domestic violence, stalking, sex offenses, unemployment status, or any other legally prohibited basis in accord with federal, state, and city laws. And then the other had to do with the recalibration period and this concern that faculty were not involved in these decisions. And this states that while the University Faculty Senate supports the spirit and motives behind the Chancellor's recalibration period for educational equity and shares his concern about student equity, by not consulting with the UFS before announcing the recalibration, the Chancellor's office has failed to respect the imperatives of shared governance. Therefore, the UFS voices its disapproval of this failure and expresses its concern about the disruptions caused by the recalibration. Even in these unprecedented circumstances with the difficult conditions facing the faculty, students, and staff, we urge the Chancellor and the Board of Trustees to abide by the principles of shared governance at CUNY as expressed in the charter of the UFS. And then it gives the articles and the bylaws in CUNY. Other than that, there were nominations for the USF leaders, and that slate was presented on May 12th. On the May 12th meeting, it was largely around those elections, and I think pretty much the nominated slate was approved, but I'm not sure that we actually had official results at the end. Voting by Zoom, I'm not sure if it was possible, voting by Zoom, if that was possible to give those. So are there any questions?
Before your question, I'm going to mute everybody again because there are some people who are not muted and I'm hearing some background noise. When you talk, unmute yourself and then please mute yourself right away. So I'm muting everybody. Go ahead.
All right. So that's the report that I have. Any questions?
Doug,
Yes.
Would you briefly explain, I don't know anything about it, what this recalibration business is about?
Oh, that's the period when they ceased classes and had a brief period where there was some training on going completely online, and then we went completely online. There were also important things having to do with the change in grading policies, and so all of that happened in March because of COVID. UFS elections not happening, things like that. That's all that recalibration period.
Are there any other questions? If not, thank you so much for that report.
Okay.
Now move to the report of standing committees. The first committee is a committee on undergraduate. I skipped something. I'm sorry. I skipped. So at this point, we normally, for the new people, we would at this point view the degree lists, and I would make a motion to allow all these people to graduate. Since the COVID-19 situation and during the summer as usual, the steering committee has the power to approve these degree lists under executive action. And so I'm reporting to you that we approved degree list 2021 1 and 2, and these students will recommend it to graduate. We hope that in the future we'll be able to bring them to you again so that you can review them on your own time and then vote on them together. Now I'll move to report of standing committee, Professor Shortell. And as you begin to speak, I'm going to share my screen with what you've asked me to put up.
Thank you. We have no curriculum document for you to consider this month, but I wanted to make an announcement regarding the deadlines. I have met with George Rodman, who is chairing the graduate curriculum committee, and we've agreed on these deadlines for the year, which you can now see. Basically, we are going to ask for submissions on no later than the Friday after the faculty council meeting for the following month. Then we're going to reserve the last curriculum document of the year in May for corrections only. The undergraduate curriculum committee has met already. We have our slate of students, and so we've talked about our process. I have created new forum threads for the new submissions, so those are open, and you can begin to submit material for the committee's consideration. If you submitted material at the very end of last year, there were several requests for the committee over the summer, which we were unable to get to, and a couple right at the very end of the year that we couldn't act on. You do not need to resubmit those. I have those submissions and I will share them with the committee. You can certainly reach out to me if you have a question. But everything that was submitted but we were unable to consider last year will automatically roll over, and we will consider that for the first document at our next faculty council meeting.
Tim, do you want me to go to the next page?
Sure. If you just scroll through, it's just the list of the deadlines.
I put this thing together. You might as well look at it.
Yeah, basically the Friday, the week of the faculty council meeting for the following month.
Great. Okay, does anyone have any questions for Professor Shortell? Hearing none, thank you very much.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
What do you mean by priority versus final? What does priority mean?
If you can get it to us by then, that's best. Partly because, if the committee has questions and we're unable to approve of something, there's still time for us to work with the department to resolve those issues before the final deadline. It also takes some pressure off of the committee. You may recall last year we put together a 250-page document for December, and it's a lot of work to try to process all at once. So we're asking people to submit that as early as possible.
So if you waited for the final one, there'd be no guarantee that it would be able
That's
to.
correct. If there was some issue that we couldn't resolve, then we would have to put it off for the following bulletin.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Are there any other questions for Chantel? Hearing none. Professor Chantel, thank you very much. We now move to a series of reports. Our procedure is to ask the chair of each committee whether they have anything they'd like to add to their annual report. And then I will ask you if you have any questions for the chair. None of these have actual items that need to be voted on. So at the end of each one, we will simply thank the chair and his committee and her committee for all the work that they've done. So the first one is the Committee on Academic Integrity. Professor Elzad Yutnik, you are here?
Yes, I'm here. Thank you.
Ed, is there anything you'd like to add to your report?
Sorry, I thought the space bar was permanent. No, I have nothing else to add. Thank you.
Thank you. Does anyone have any questions for the Committee on Academic Integrity? Hearing none, we will thank your committee. Please convey our thanks for a job well done. Thank you. We now move to the Committee on General Education. Professor Troyansky.
I'll let the document speak for itself.
Thank you. Does anyone have any questions for the Professor Troyansky for the Committee on General Education? Hearing none, we again thank your committee. Please convey our thanks for a job well done. Very, very important. We now move to the Committee on Honors, Citations, and Awards. Professor Chester, are you here somewhere?
Yes, we have nothing additional to report.
Does anyone have any questions for the Committee on Honors, Citations, and Awards? Hearing none, Faculty Council thanks your committee. Please convey our thanks for a job well done. Committee on Student Advisement. Professor Jensen Moulton, are you here?
I'm here. I'll let the document speak for itself, and I'd like to thank the members of my committee.
Thank you. Does anyone have any questions for the Committee on Student Advisement? Hearing none, once again, we thank your committee and we thank you. A job well done. Please convey our gratitude. Now, while you may think that this just went by and nobody cares or anything, I've been assured by the administration that they actually read these things, okay? And that if there are items in here that we recommend or think about, they will take them under consideration. And so I'm grateful that you've produced these reports, and I'm grateful for the administration for reading them. Thank you. Is there any old business? I'm not aware of any old business. Is there any new business? I'm not aware of any new business. Okay, now hold on. Don't all go away right now. In a moment, I'm going to ask for a motion to adjourn. When that occurs, we will turn off the recording. We will cut off all the poor souls who are watching on YouTube. And the president, we will turn over this platform to the president. That is not part, for the record, that is not part of the Faculty Council meeting. The president is just simply using our Zoom meeting to have her conversation with you. Okay? Are there any other comments or questions? Yes.
I have a question. I know it's not required for the president to speak to Faculty Council, but I'm just curious, why is the president not speaking to Faculty Council here in the September meeting?
President Anderson, would you care to respond or not? I don't see you. I don't know.
Sure. Thanks for the question, Ken. There are a couple of things. Is that first, the issues that we're facing and that we need to talk about, there are many, and they're highly complex. Reentry, the budget, a whole series of issues that are complex, and we don't want to take over Faculty Council time. Second, we made a decision that there would be a more candid interchange if this were outside the scope of the faculty council meeting. So we made a decision to present in this way.
Is there any other comments or questions from anyone at this point? Okay, hearing none, a motion to adjourn is in order.
So moved.
Anyone opposed to adjourning? Okay, at this point, Andre, please turn off the recording, cut off the YouTube, and turn over the meeting to the president. Hasn't happened yet.